welcome back to this week's College Boy Taisen, the only podcast where
we delay the recording because someone had a stomach ache.
Well, yeah, that is true. I had an upset tummy, but we won't talk about that because we are here to talk about
some Pepto.
We're here to talk about Toku. We're here to talk about Geats. It's finally another It's finally another Nexus episode. Somebody will stop being on our ass, hopefully.
5 through 7, Aki, in case you were wondering.
5 through 7. That's 3. I think that's the most we've done in a shotgun.
The show finally got interesting. Yes.
It actually really did. No, I'm enjoying it.
It really did.
But first, just how are you doing, Jacob? How's your week?
It had its ups and downs,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so a couple things. So I have to get a book for a class, right? Ordered the book on Monday, and I go there on Wednesday because I'm like, oh, maybe they didn't email me that it came in. I go there, I'm like, did the book come in? They're like, yeah, no. And I'm like, oh, I walked all the way over to the bookstore for nothing. So whatever. But I need the book, so they need to hurry it up. And then this is the other thing, right? There's this kid who sits next to me in my environmental science class. And he spilled his water today, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the table. I sit on the left of him. He spilt it on to the right of him, so I was fine.
Uh-huh.
But he spilt it, right? I don't know why I'm telling this story. I just thought it was funny. But so he spills the water, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And the professor was like a few feet away, like talking to another student about something. He's like, do you have any paper towels? She's like, she says in like the most like pissed off voice, she was like, no, you're gonna have to go get some. So he's like, oh shit. So he goes to the bathroom, gets the paper towels, right? Comes back. And you know how when people, when there's a spill in a classroom, people just kind of clump the paper towels onto the spill. Do you know what I'm talking about? I feel like I always see that.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so he cleans it up. And you want to know what he does? So where we sit, we're at the table second last from the back, and there's a group of people in the last table. There's 4 people in the last table, and this girl's on her laptop. So the guy cleans up the spill, and he's got the paper towels, and they're all wet and stuff. You know how they get. What does he do? He tosses them over the girl into the trash can. Mind you, it goes into the trash can. But he got water all over the girl's laptop. And it was just so like, do you not have social awareness to go, oh, I should probably just normally throw this out and not chuck it over a row of people sitting down with their electronics out, I know that was such like a pointless story, but it just bugged me because I was like, why'd you do it like that, But I mean, other than that, week's been good. One of my classes got canceled, so that was nice.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. And I got some assignments done early, so I'm proud of myself for that. But what about you? What do you got? What's been up?
I don't know. I just been going through college, going through the motions, going through the new comics. Like, I don't know. I feel like this week has actually been relatively tame for me. But
what's on the poll list?
What?
What's on the poll list? Your comic poll list.
Oh, yeah, the poll list. Shit. I've been following up with the new Miles Morales series, the one that started in December of 2022. It's issue 3 that came out, so I copped that. I also picked up the new Scarlet Witch that's running. I picked up issue 1 because they just still had a fuck ton. I guess nobody in my place bought it. And they also gave me like these 2 little like freebie things of like the catalogs for Marvel and DC of like, oh, this is what we're releasing in the year, and it's all the cool stuff. And I love free stuff, so I was staring at it intently. But mostly, the biggest joy, I love Miles Morales and whatnot, but the biggest joy I get going into that comic shop every week is seeing the same stack of 01 comic issues that has not been touched. Not a single soul has touched it, rustled it. Nobody has looked at it. Nobody has bought that shit, and I can rest happy.
Sorry, Chris.
It's okay. But what was I about to say? It's okay.
It's not okay, Chris.
I was
This
like,
guy got a 0-1
you know,
driver.
it's gonna come to a point where like another kind of controversy happens with like fan content or stuff like that in the West, and I'm gonna be out there in the front lines tweeting like, this is why we need to support the stuff that comes to the West, and then people will be like, but you didn't buy the 0-1 comic. See, I support...
That's different!
I support everything that's not 0-1 related. You won't catch me buying that Blu-ray, not damn comics, not the stuff they bring over for Team Rider, not this fucking terrible merch they design.
Team Rider bringing over stuff?
They have bad graphic designers. They need somebody else on there.
Get this man a job.
Yeah. Actually,
they got Mock Dent and then the Blu-ray trailers. I'm like, get me over there.
Something
let me in.
That does relate to me. The homie Pronghorn Heroes Gem from Pronghorn Heroes. He released like this little short film.
Look at this.
Yeah, he released a little short film. He went to me about it for the logo, The Lost Nago. They had a fun time creating the logo. It was really fun.
Got paid.
Every time somebody saw the logo, they were like, "Oh, why is Nago lost?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just made the logo."
I don't fucking know. He just told me he was missing. I was like, oh, he's lost.
Yeah. But no, I think that's my news.
Did I finish it? I did finish it. I did watch it. It was good.
Do we have any?
Love that guy. I need to get him on the podcast.
Any Tokusatsu news? Any? All I know is that Outsiders episode 1 technically came out.
Damn it! We should have watched that. Sorry, Aki.
I mean, they brought back My Boys, so I gotta watch it soon.
Yeah, I guess.
Very happy.
Hey, I should watch Ryuki for one of these episodes.
Oh, Jacob, you warm my heart.
I always try to be.
I love you, Jacob.
Heat. Oh, Jacob.
Speaking of
is there any news? I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, I don't think there is. So what we can't talk
Lightning
about...
collection sucks. That's something. There you go.
That reminded me of something. Never mind, I do have a little bit of story.
Oh, God!
I'm prologuing Geats. Okay, so because of the pandemic, right? I am not exaggerating. I'm being 100% serious. I haven't been to my local Walmart in 2 years.
Oh, God.
And
okay.
If anyone's traveled, you would know this for a fact. Walking into a local Walmart that is not the town you're from, like going into a different town's local Walmart, each of them are a parallel universe or alternate universe where the layout is extremely different. Like no two Walmarts have the same layout. So you walk into a new one from like some other town that you just happen to stumble across, and it is a whole other ballpark. You have no idea where anything is. They got random shit there. And that's what it felt like going back to my local Walmart, because the entire layout was different. It was so... Bro, the toy... I always go to the toy section at Walmart. The toys were not in the same section anymore.
I feel that.
It's in the hardware place took over the toy section. I was like, where is it? That meme of like the weekends walking around the maze with all the lights. That was me looking for the toy section. But like, God, no, they put the toy section next to the electronics now. And I was like,
I need
damn.
my Dino Fury Gold Morpher. Where is it?
Actually, speaking, they don't have any, unfortunately. But I wasn't gonna buy it anyway. But what I did find out, I didn't know this. I don't know if they ever advertised it, but they made a toy of the Mega Fury Saber, and like the little one from the finishers in the Megazord fights, which is really interesting. They actually made a toy of that. The toy's actually the sword's actually pretty big too.
I'll give Hasbro this. They always make, whenever it's like, I'll give Power Rangers this in general, but they always make the swords bigger. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, the Mega Fury Saber was pretty big. Like, I was surprised. Like, if my little brother was holding that shit, he might crack someone's head open. But yeah, no, that's my Walmart news. The only good thing about the
that's the Walmart update.
Yeah, they now have a thing called a grab and go.
We'll keep you guys posted.
They have a thing called a grab and go, which is now the best part of Walmart. It's officially replaced the toy section. It's just this little corner of Walmart that where the walls, they're not walls. The walls and the border of the area is just an entire like the cooling section that has a bunch of drinks, from coffees to teas to energy drinks to alcohol to soda to water to juices to fucking kombucha, like an entire drink selection. And then inside the walls, the drink walls, is just every single snack that they serve, all lined up in the rows. It is the ultimate snack grabbing section. That's
why it's a grab and go.
Exactly. And I was like, wow. Like, this is amazing. Like, it must have looked really weird to the elderly ladies shopping around me. Where I was like, oh my god, this looks so cool, as if I've never been to Walmart before. But yeah,
Big
pandemic
Walmart
fucked me over.
To go to Walmart.
Exactly, bro. I love Walmart. Corporations.
Yeah.
Yeah, but aside from that, the only other big thing before we get to Geats is Black History Month. You know, all our black viewers enjoy life. Enjoy life. Enjoy life. I know I've been celebrating it. They added the new Black Panther to Disney Plus and released the new Proud Family.
I can finally watch it.
The new Proud Family season. They're releasing Moon Girl later this month. I've been really enjoying
this
shit.
Guy has been talking about Moon Girl since the name came out.
Exactly. I've been waiting for it.
Big Moon Girl fan, excited to watch Moon Girl.
Exactly. Nah, I've read some of the comics. She's actually, I'm pretty sure she might be one of the smartest characters in the Marvel universe, if not the smartest. But you know, every new smart character is the smartest character.
I was about to. I was like, they've been saying that every year.
But no, I read a comic where it's her and Miles Morales teaming up, and then the whole thing is that like they just kind of bump into each other like on patrol doing hero stuff, and then she like bumps into Miles once like in civilian clothes, and it's just like, wait a minute, he's Spider-Man, and just instantly figures it out. No, I love her, she's great, and Devil Dinosaur. I love both of them. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna rave about it on Twitter. I'm gonna use the College Boy Taisen account at CBT Ison to promote. But anyways, Kamen Rider Geats episode. Are we at 20?
20!
Damn, we're at 20? I can't believe it. We're almost halfway.
Oh, no! It's gonna be over!
Ace will be gone forever to the sands of time.
Ace will be gone, and then the podcast will end. No!
The podcast? Whoa, okay. Jacob, what did you think about Kamen Rider Geats episode 20?
This was such a good episode! They're back, baby!
Like we said the last couple weeks, you know, every new arc, they take a little bit of time stumbling around a bit, trying to find the right size shoes,
and hollering,
trying to put on the right jacket for the right weather. But now they're out. You know, they're finally out the house. They done dressing, and they're ready to style.
Finally found their car keys. By the way, self-indulgent for a moment. It's episode 21 of the podcast, and now I'm 21.
Yeah,
yay!
We're post Jacob's birthday.
I didn't get plastered. I said I was gonna drink for this episode. I forgot to. I didn't feel like
Jacob. How do you feel being a year older? How does it feel like being Jacob?
I mean, I haven't seen you since
21.
a year ago, so you know. Jacob complete 21. I don't know. Feels the same. I don't know. Maybe if I was more responsible of a person, I would notice. But considering, you know, I'm little old me, that probably won't happen.
Mm-hmm. So, I gotta start off my thoughts by pointing out something that is so pointless, but it charged my brain.
This guy volt tackled.
So
doesn't even make any sense.
When Geats did the little secret mission so we could get back Magnum, which I'm kind of happy that they brought back Magnum. It feels like, you know, it's been a while since we've seen him, and he looks stylish. When he gets Magnum, I know it's just probably like an effects thing. Maybe they didn't time it right, but like the little like the graphic when it says like Magnum on the side when they're transforming, it appeared before he put the buckle in, and that just like boggled my mind. And I was like, damn,
it was to hype it up. Magnum was nervous. Hadn't been around a while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we have it back. Everybody has their main buckles again, except for Buffa, but he's gonna get it back like next episode.
You don't have the shill powered builder anymore, which I guess is sad.
Man, builder. It's gonna be sad. Maybe I honestly, do you think we'll see it again? You know, maybe someone else will use it, like Naga or something.
I hope so, because it's not like he lost it.
Yeah,
he still got it.
I'm more so being like, if it's still going to be in like the set rotations.
I hope it is, because there's no reason it shouldn't be.
Speaking of which, they're going to finally remember Fever exists next week. I'm pretty sure Lopo has it.
They're just going to give it to the Disaster. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that's the reveal. You know, do you want to tackle that first? Because like, that leaves some questions about the rest of the arc. Because I remember both We Did and Quasar about specifically Neon.
We Did and Quasar.
About
I
Neon.
Really thought it was going to be Neon.
A lot of us are like, man, we don't understand why Neon is acting like this unless she's the Disaster. And the answer is nope, she's not. She just was pulling some bullshit.
She's just acting weird for some reason. We don't know why.
You know what's really funny? When everyone's like, "Boy, a big reason Neon could be the Disaster is because we haven't seen her parents in a while, and her dad was the sponsor." And then they just show him. He's just there.
And then the mom is pissed. She throws that stack of books. I thought that was funny for some reason.
I really like the sponsor area. It's really cute. And also, they just casually confirmed the dudes were like where the gun cards.
We finally saw the gun cards. Yeah.
We didn't get a good shot of it, but he just he pulled it out. He pulled out the blicky on that little girl. He was ready to shoot. He was ready to fucking
sight.
Blast
her. Stand, get out!
This is an Ace fan club only.
They're like us. Like, get out of my Ace room.
This is
like, no. Look at the Buffa guy.
Never mind. I was about to say something. No, it's not bad, but it was cheesy. I was about to say,
man, that's all we do here.
It's like, get out. This is only for the Ace fan club titled Asexuals.
Actually, I was also gonna make an Ace. That sounds like me doing the LeBron meme where he's like, I knew he was gonna drop 40 points or whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about? I was always lying.
When I was listening to the music,
I was actually gonna do that, but I was like, I don't know how to word that.
When I was listening to Yu Takahashi write about this script, I was like, guys, this one's bad.
But, okay, back to the main thing, the Disaster, Lopo. Great twist. I don't know. It's fine.
No, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it because, like, as not only us, but, like, everyone in the fucking fandom, just in the beginning of the arc of just, like, it has to be one of the two new guys, or else who could it be?
Yep.
So I guess the surprise isn't that much, but, like, I don't know. The way they've written Lopo, I don't think they've given Lopo enough for me to think, oh, she's a Disaster. It's a big shock to me. But there also isn't too little to the point where it's like, oh, she's barely been doing anything. She might be the Disaster. Like, I don't know, she's in this weird place where I kind of just don't care.
I think the weird thing is, like, you bring up the fact that she hasn't really done much. But I think that's kind of my issue. Because, like, this episode, there's the whole thing with her throwing the apple at them. And, like, she throws the apple rolls up to them and blows up Geats and Tycoon, right? And then it cuts back to a shot of Lopo, like, looking at them. And it's like, okay, you're hinting that it's her. But then it's like...
Oh, yeah, no, it's so funny. There's been no hints before, but it's just like, I wonder who threw the bombs. Hard cuts to Lopo. Like, are you serious? I wonder who it could be. And then what pissed me off, because I feel like maybe Ace is gonna say this next week, and maybe he was just pretending. But like later in the episode, they're like, man, there was we got hit by a bomb, but then was there anyone else with us there? And it's like, did Ace not notice that Lopo just randomly joined the fight?
I guess it could have been like she wasn't even like near them when she threw it, but then it's like they are already in close proximity to each other, so it's like. Also, I like how they just assume it's the disaster. I know I kind of abandoned that whole location topic, but I realized I don't really remember. But like I really like how they were like, oh shit, an apple, and then they blew up. Then they're like, that must have been the disaster.
It's like, honestly, you know what I thought? I know Kawa isn't really the smartest, right? But what I found funny is just like, it took him after the entire initial fight and seeing the bombs blow up, the fruit bombs blow up. It took someone else saying they have to detonate at sunset, and he was like, wait a minute, fruit, bombs, sunset, uh-oh. And then
I'm sorry, this is off topic, but they're making a you know the guy from Black Sun, Kotaro?
Yeah.
They're making a figure out of him. I thought it was funny.
Like the guy, not the suit?
Yeah, the guy. They're making the guy. The guy.
I love whenever they make SHFs of people.
Holy fish paste! It's a guy!
It's a guy! But no, also, it's finally nice to see Sarah again. You know, she's back. She's there to be like, I'm eating fruit, K1.
Yeah! And also, I think I brought this up last week or the week before, but I was, I think I mentioned how, like, I sort of don't like how they're just so confined to the lobby. So it was nice seeing them, like, be back in the apartment or, like, be like outside more.
No, really.
I feel like they've been very like
the best part
lately.
about, like, I will reiterate from last week. I feel like, again, the best parts about Geats, because sure, while the action is still top notch and the fight and the choreography and cinematography are really good, a lot of the best character moments, in my opinion, did happen outside of the missions and the games, where they had conversations in random places like the cafe or the soba shop. Or the random place they went to go eat that had a burger sign in the back. It's fun. It's fun seeing them in the outside world. And I remember I initially praised Geats for like set design. It had a lot of interesting sets in the beginning. I remember specifically during the zombie game, I really loved the set choices and the design with having like moss and whatnot and grass overreach everything. And someone in the comments was like, initially, it happens with every Kamen Rider series, and even like just every tokusatsu, you'll reach the same couple places enough and you'll eventually get tired of them. And initially I disagreed, but I'm starting to agree now, but it's only because they've literally restricted the players to only be in the lobby.
Yeah, it's
like
not,
I'm not really tired of the lobby. I just, it's weird to just purposely choose to restrict shit like that, but it could be again. I know you. I remember you last week mentioning there was like a new wave of COVID in Japan, so it could be because of that, and which is out of their control, so it's fine.
But it is sort of like you said though. It is like, or not. Well, what was I gonna say? I forgot now. Train of thought was gone. No, it was No, I do think like the set design's still top notch. It's just kind of what you said. It's like, as we go on, it's just kind of like, you get used to it, or it's like, I'd rather see them do anything else. But it's only a problem here because it's just kind of like, you guys could be doing anything else. You had like a whole like, you had the whole fucking like, remember like the first arc, they were in the hallways and the shit, and they were talking. Like
the locker rooms, the training areas.
Yeah, the locker rooms. This is kind of not there anymore. Like, they had a gym one time, I think.
Like, even at the end of the first arc, they really had interesting sets. Like, when Ace was running from everybody and he was sitting in the rain under some warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Like that little area with the rain and everything. Really nice. Even they kind of even make the warehouses look different sometimes. The same little Toei warehouses.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, I want to see more places, but it kind of seems like we're about to get there. Like, not only here, I think this episode had some pretty interesting sets. Like, I think the entirety of Geats versus Buffa, they made the warehouse this time. It looked real different. It looked nice. Fight. And they're going to the I think it's the same desert area where like Forza got Cosmic and everything. But you know, they make it look pretty crazy. It looks pretty cool.
He's back on the bike, baby.
He is back on the bike. It's gonna be great.
Love that bike. We haven't seen a bike in like the dirt like in a minute. I feel like the last time was maybe like
wasn't it Heisei Gen Forever?
Like, yeah, that's what I was about to say. It was probably Heisei Generations.
When they're all riding in the desert.
Even in Geo, it was just like he drove on the street like one time and that was it.
Yeah. But something I of course have to point out. It's not Buff, it's actually Kayla. Because they're kind of going on with you know, last week was it last week's episode that ended off with like the no more Mr. Nice Guy thing?
Yes.
We kind of like I wasn't really expecting anything off of that. Like, I know some people were expecting, like, oh, he's going to be, like, the next Daiji, he's going to turn heel, he's going to be, like, I have to kill everyone to save the world or something. But no, I actually kind of like how they're doing it. Like, it wasn't overly, like, obnoxious or something. It's not, like, something that was so generically evil or something that was just even, like, too out of character for Kayla. It was, he just, I like that, it's simply, he just took someone else's buckle out of like, disparity. I think simple stuff like that of just like doing little things that's not exactly like, oh, he's beating up other people, but rather he's playing more roughly, like maybe how Ace or Buffa would.
Yeah.
And especially, I talked about it on my little post on Twitter. What's the actor's name? Sato Ryuga?
I think.
Kay was actor's voiceover during his little tycoon zombie form scene, and the suit actor. I think there's a little bit of an art or a little bit of like very a lot of skill to like, their performance of it's not overly like not KO. It's not like overly savage or rough, but it is off-putting. Like it is different to the point where it is a little off-putting and a little disturbing.
I think you can tell with the editing too, because like, you know, there's those random like jump cuts of the what's it called, the chainsaw.
Yeah.
You know, hitting the impact or you see it bounce off the floor when he's just swinging it wildly.
It's something they talk about in the producer notes.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, Kawa fought different. Yeah, this is like, oh yeah, Kawa fought differently this time. He stole someone else's buckle, and like. Usually he's not that much of a fighter, but the Jamato was literally trying to run away, and you fucking grabbed him by the legs and dragged him back so he could do his finisher. But then he just turned back into KO at the end of the episode, and what I mean by that is, why did you take 30 seconds to grab a pair of pliers? like the clock was running, and he sat there and he stared at the wires, and then he grabbed the pliers, and then he stared at the wire cutters. He just stared at them for like a solid 10 seconds, and then he was like, the red one. Like he has to, he reminded himself that it was the red one.
He was like, what color? He completely forgot what color it was, so he's like, I don't remember. See,
that's why someone who's colorblind can't be in the Grand Prix.
He's like, guys, I love being a brown guy. I don't know. And he's like, they're like, oh, you're green. He's like, no, I'm brown. He's like, guys, I'm not colorblind. I don't know why I made that joke. It wasn't funny. I kind of like gave up halfway through.
Yeah, Dylan would not survive the Grand Prix.
Dylan would lose. Dylan, podcast, get on now.
Obligatory Dylan mention.
Obligatory yell at Dylan. Kidding.
But also now.
Oh, you want to know what I wanted to bring up?
Ooh, what's up? What's that?
This guy Kawa goes, all right, give me your buckle. Doesn't duel on. Come on. I don't
Yeah.
get what I don't.
They
It's not that
are
big of a
very,
deal, but it's just kind of annoying.
they're very anti-dual on as of recent. Which is, it's also scary because, like, I don't know if, because in the next time preview, Lopo is only using Fever Boost, which makes me think, like, did Kawa just not give back Zombie, or is she choosing not to use it? Or wait, no, because Buffa's gonna take it then, actually, hold on.
Yeah, well...
Which is also, actually, we could talk about that. We could talk about that, of how, the Zombie Jamato buckle, Zombie Jamato form.
I don't like it.
It's Buffa Zombie with the cracked helmet that he has now, and the ripped up little skirt thing and the leg vines.
That's it. I think they could have done more. I would have I'm okay with him just having the zombie chest piece, but I think they could have like put like the vines over it or something. I think I would have been okay with that. But
honestly, I'm not as disappointed about it as I think other people are, because I always really saw the Jamato buckle as like, I love the form, but I never really truly saw it as a form, because it just seems like it's just simply the only thing that's allowing him to actually transform.
Yeah.
And then presumably Zombie might counterbalance it, which, like, if that is what it does, I think that's actually really fucking cool. It can prevent him from dying. But now also he is actually turning into a Jamato. He has cool little makeup on his hand now.
This guy got moss on him. He's turned into a tree.
Which compared to other quote unquote fourth or other writers that died in their series and then randomly came back, it's kind of interesting, It is kind of a rehash of Laser, I'd say. He did come back as a Buckster, the monster of the show, and even though Buffa didn't really die, but
yeah,
he is technically coming back as a Jamato.
Yeah,
but it's very interesting because he's also doing the whole other thing that Laser did of playing for the enemy.
Yeah. I don't get I get his motivation is I want to destroy all the Kamen Riders, but I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, you really just gonna sacrifice your humanity just because you want to fucking beat Ace? Is that really it? I don't know. It's not out of character. I would say. I guess I just think it's weird. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I always just assumed because this whole thing is that he's fueled by trauma, and sometimes trauma doesn't really have you thinking rationally.
True.
Which is also something I was disappointed by. I kind of wanted the other writers seeing that Michinaga was alive to be a bit more impactful. Like I know Ace.
Yeah.
Ace's reaction is expected, obviously, but like I don't know. Kawa really care. Like it's literally his motivation. He's fighting to bring dead people back. And so he's just like, damn, Ace wasn't lying. And Ace tells him to go do something else. He's like, okay, bye.
All right, Ace, you handle this. And Neon doesn't even get to see him, and like, it's just weird. It's weirdly handled.
I assume it might be handled better as the arc continues on, maybe, and as Gazer goes to hunt him down.
Yeah.
Gazer.
I actually really like that suit.
No, I genuinely think it's better than Glares. Even though it's just like a color swap.
It's not hard to be better.
I don't know. I wasn't fucking with like the purple and the orange that much, but like white and gold, that's hard. That shit crazy.
What do you mean it's black and blue?
You're gonna kill me, Jacob. But yeah, no, also, people are arguing that the random little girl that is showing up to sponsor Buffa could be a rehash of Taiga and Nico. I kind of see it, but I won't be fully on board until I see more of their dynamic. I do think it is a little cute.
The pedo allegations are back for Takahashi.
Oh no! Oh god! I mean, no, never mind. I was about to say.
Oh god!
There isn't. How old is the actor? For the girl, I don't even know her character
the actress is like 15, I believe.
I was about to say, Does Buffa's actor just turn 18?
I am. Oh God.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
This.
No, I'm not saying I would ship it, but it's just like I don't know. 18 and 15 is better than 29 and 18. It's still all bad.
That's true.
Because Taiga was old as fuck.
I love how that whole thing was like I love how that was like a fan thing. Like people thought they were like together, and it's like no, they clearly state in the show that Taiga doesn't want her around at all.
It's so funny because like I was around when X-Aid was airing. X-Aid was the first one I caught like week to week live, but I wasn't in the fandom. So like I don't know. I feel like my reaction to just hearing that people would like ship Taiga and Nico back then is like, you know, giving a small Victorian child a McDonald's Sprite. Like I would I don't know how
that whole
I'd
thing
react.
is weird because like, you know, because X-Aid was kind of the one, not like, because I was in the fandom before, right? But like X-Aid was kind of the one where like I was interacting with it, like the whole, you know, fandom as a whole. I would guess a lot more, you know, that and Ghost, but more, you know, more X-Aid I would say. But like there was, I'll be honest with you, in the circles I was in and a lot of the shit I saw, no one was really shipping them too. But then, you know, like later on, like a couple years ago, I just see like a lot of, I see this one guy in particular and a few other people just going, well, Taiga's a pedophile. And it's like, no, did you watch the fucking show?
For some reason,
not.
I like even more than like I'd say even like Grease and Build or stuff like that. There's a lot of X8 characters where people will just be like, "Oh yeah, well they're a bigot or they're weird or they're a criminal." Like yeah, I've seen a lot of people call Hero a misogynist. I'm just like, what show were we watching?
My good friend was like, you know, Emu's kind of, this isn't like hating on her, right? But I just thought it was funny because she was like, Emu's actually my least favorite Rider protagonist because he brainwashed Poppy and Parrot to be good, and I'm just like, did he really though?
See, no,
he kind of reversed Poppy.
If there's anything,
and then Parrot he just kind of killed.
See, if there's anything we should get on Emu for, it's that, you know, as Doctor, he kind of played God. You know, he redeemed Parrot by instilling the fear of God and death into him. That will always be the funniest thing to be in Rider. I mean,
Ace is gonna beat the shit out of Kayla and be like, Kayla, this is how you win, and then he's gonna kill him.
He's gonna make sure he's used the zombie buckle enough.
What was I gonna say? I feel like the X-Aid cast and like, you know, like as you mentioned with like who is it? Oh, Grease. I forgot his name. And maybe some other people in that kind of, you know, era of Rider. Takuro too from Ghost as well. It's not Flanderization. It's not like they got worse as they went on, but the fandom has like this weird Flanderized perception of them. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not using you get what I'm trying to say with the Flanderization thing.
They only focus on one aspect of the character and blow it out of proportion.
Like, my name's Tankuji Takuro. I was killed by a Gamma when I was 10 years old. Like, there's more to Takuro than that. There's more to other catchphrases that these characters may or may not say, you know.
Yeah. I'm just for the most part I'm kind of glad. I don't really feel like that's happened so far to any of the Geats characters.
Except Ace. I will keep calling him a bastard.
But yeah, the disclaimer, even though disclaimers go before you say shit, I do not ship Buffa and the little girl whose name I do not know. What was it?
No one should, and if you do, you're gross. You're weird, and you should eat shit.
But
I was gonna tell you to die. That's rude.
I will say I do find their little interaction cute of like, oh, so you're a Jamato? No, don't lump me in with those monsters. Are you part of the Grand Prix? No, don't lump me in with those losers. They have a cute dynamic off rip, even though it's very clear that she's kind of manipulating Buffa to do what she wants.
Makima, is that you?
Oh my god!
Oh my god! And he has a chainsaw.
Right. Tatsuki Fujiwara!
No.
Which is actually, that's honestly, I don't think so.
Damn it.
That's kind of the thing I'm most excited about in terms of Buffa's arc, because
what, the Chainsaw Man aspect?
No, but but the thing I'm excited about is just even more of like him interacting with the writers after his death. I'm really interested in seeing how he interacts with the sponsors and the staff members, since he's kind of like their point of interest of like, oh, he shouldn't be alive, realism, blah blah whatnot.
I agree with you on like the sponsors and the staff, because it's like they saw him get out. He left the Jamato world, wherever they live, like village or whatever the hell, and then they're just like, well, put him back. He can go do something. I love how the gardener dude is like, oh, hey, you're back. All right, back to the fertilizer. And
then the little girl is just like, no, dig it out. I need it.
No, give me that. Did he bury him, or was he in the chair the whole time?
They dragged in his corpse, and I think they just like plopped off his ID cord. If they did bury him, that would be crazy.
I think that would have been funny if he's
just dug him out of the dirt.
Well,
also,
what else happened?
You know, I could actually, boy, oh fuck, I can talk a lot about just how excited I am about Buffa's arc, because
this guy is excited.
The entire first arc was just him being like, I'm doing all of this so I can gain the power to destroy all Kamen Riders. And all of his actions are around that, trying to win the game, trying to do this. But even then, even when we saw him trying to beat the game and win the game and get his wish and like exact his revenge and like, I don't know, all Kamen Riders of the Grand Prix, we saw that there was bits and pieces with like chances basically where he could have, I don't know, set all that aside, forget about it, may actually socialize with other people, maybe even like make a friend somehow. Especially with like the second round with Peepaw and Leonard. Like it's there's chances where you could have gotten out of that, but now we get to directly see when he like what he'll actually do now that he technically has his wish. Like we get to see him walk the walk and talk the talk and fucking show that he has bite and bark.
That fight was crazy.
No, that fight, I honestly think that fight, I don't know. It's like, I don't know how to describe. Like there was just something about it that was just like, whoa! Like this is a piece of work. This is a masterpiece.
He had that guy Ace on his toes.
I can't believe. Like no, they're actually going at it. I really love the fight choreography. I love the ideas they did of like how they can make the fight more intense and more interesting. He deflected a bullet with his horn. That shit's hard. That shit.
I hope he shoots it again and then it breaks off and they bring back the broken helmet.
I also just love the little stuff of like you can they really kind of emphasize that Buffa's more so hit strong, hit hard, battle instincts, and then Ace is the smart guy using his environment. Like I love the part where he's hanging on the ledge and Buffa like raises his leg real fucking high just to stomp his hand, and then you see Ace look in the mirror to see him doing that. Like I love that. It's so cool.
I love the bit at the end where Ace is about to do the finisher, and then he hesitates, and then Buffa de-transforms.
See, I honestly, I really hope they play with that, because I feel like that could be taken is that I want it to be a double thing of, oh, he stopped because he actually doesn't want to kill Buffa, but if anyone asks him about that, I feel like he'd say, oh, I stopped because he de-transformed, and I wasn't gonna shoot him untransformed. Like I want it to be like he does care, and because like when he falls to the ground, he's like, oh, you alright? And then after he asks if Buffa's alright, he immediately just goes to like being the cocky bastard he is. He's like, oh, so you're turning into a human? Like, you turn into a Jamato. You're doing all this crazy shit, huh, man? That's real crazy.
He's like, you're giving up on humanity, huh? I see. Skill issue.
Yeah.
I love them continuing the whole. Oh, he's an asshole. But he also, like, is an asshole that cares. Mm-hmm. It's not like he's just complete, alright, well, I'm the best, screw you guys. like, no, he clearly likes Buffa, or, respects him, I guess is a better way of putting it.
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't want to see him just end up like this, but it is just happening anyways.
Something I do wish, I kind of, like, cause, what's the dude's name? Gene? The dimension hopping dude?
Yeah.
Gene was like, oh, it's time for the rivals to fight. Honestly, I thought then and there they were gonna have like a callback of like, oh, so this is what Ghially meant by their ill-fated duel, because otherwise that line still just means nothing.
It could be like a whole. You remember how I'm trying to think? What was an example? You know how like there was like how in Xade they reused the shot from the opening or whatever in like the final episode. Part of me wonders if it's sort of gonna be like, if that's what the final fight is, like it's gonna be Geats versus Buffa no matter what happens.
Because didn't somebody point out that like they filmed new footage of them fighting for that scene?
I think we even said that in one of these episodes. I forget.
Actually, that would be crazy. Honestly, that would be pretty crazy.
I don't know if it'll be that exact fight, but I think that's what they might be going for. I think another Toku has done that.
Speaking in terms of cinematography, because they very much love, like the Buffa and Geats fight was really fun, seeing how they went hand to hand, blocking bullets with horns, looking in mirrors to fight back. But another piece of like cinematography that was amazing during that fight was the whole thing with the sponsors in the room of just
oh my god, that has been my favorite shot in the show.
Of just like, you can only be in here if you're a rider sponsor. Yamato sponsors are ugly. Get out of here, loser. No girls allowed.
Yeah, gross.
And then she's like, oh, I found a rider to sponsor. And I actually, I really love that. Love points to Buffa. That is hard. That shit crazy. Then they stared at each other.
It was really cool.
I really loved it. But like, in terms of the actual game that they played this week, it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, they fought Kamen Rider Geats.
Average Grand Prix game.
Common Grand Prix.
I don't know. I kind of wish they upped the stakes. I know it's dark. It would be a little dark for children, but like they go out of their way to kind of have reasons for us to care. Just like, oh, if the bombs blow up, then they'll never be revived and they're dead forever. But like, we only see Sarah get a bomb. We don't see any other civilians receive a bomb.
I think it would have been nice if we saw like Lopo's siblings get their bomb in this episode instead of saving it for next week. Like instead of, what was the last shot of the episode? I don't remember now.
I think the last shot was the dude.
It was her with the note. It was her with the note.
Yeah.
Or the. I think it would have been better off if you ended it on her siblings getting their bomb or like something like that. I think like actually showing her siblings in this may have been better to like set up the impact of next episode. Not that I think the next episode is going to be bad. It looks really good, but you know what I mean? Like I think for this episode purposes, it would have been nice to help prop it up.
But that moment where she does like reveal, or like they do reveal that she's the traitor, it does make me think. Because then, like, they threw in their usual, like, a little rule to help the viewer, like, know about the lore and the world building. But, like, the little rule they had at the end of this episode was the Disaster has a mission to get done every episode, or every round. And they have to complete it, or else they get disqualified or something. So that makes me wonder what was her requirement for the first two games.
You know, the way they position this one, I sort of wonder if it's not. Maybe they said. I think they said how it works exactly.
Honestly, I don't know. The way they
positioned this made me thought it was like. It made me think it was like a disaster per every new mission, because it's like she's getting a card for this specific mission. Does that mean she just has a stack of other cards for the previous ones, or like what's the deal? You know, it was very kind of weird. And I know, I'm pretty sure they said already it's like, oh, well, it's one disaster for the whole thing. But I don't know, it's just kind of weird that she has one specific note.
Lopo stat cards. I was going to say, I have two solid ideas of where I think the other two missions were for the rounds.
Ooh, theorizing.
because that I think there is like there's two like I don't know if I call them big moments, but there's two like standout moments that Lopo actually had in both of the beginning games. And the one for the Jamar ball, I think maybe it was like give someone else a buckle, because she eventually like she gave K1 Ninja, she threw K1 Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that could be hers for that one, and I think for the first one, it could be something like I think it's either be the first one to attack the principal Jamato guy, because she notably like tackled him out a window.
Yeah.
Or it could be like sabotage other players, just because they have that beginning thing where both Kayla and Neon got sabotaged by Daichi and Lopo. My brain varies on whose name I remember and whose I don't.
I don't remember Lopo's name. I remember
Me
Daichi
neither.
for some reason. You wanna know why I remember Daichi? It's because that's a fucking Ultraman protagonist. That's why I remember it.
I just remember his name because there's no way I'm gonna say Nodge Sparrow every time.
I respect that, actually. I respect the hell out of that move.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I just her as a disaster. I feel like I'm only gonna care about it next episode, because that's when they're gonna be like, oh, it seems like she's gonna since her family's gonna be put in the stake, she's gonna do something that compromises her, but she's gonna be like, please just let me win, because I need to save my family.
And then Ace is like, fuck them kids.
He's gonna pretend to let the kids die.
Yeah, I didn't save those children. They exploded. What? Cut to end of the episode. Ace, you really let those kids die? Well, flashbacks to him saving all the kids.
Flashbacks, he used a ninja to create a copy of himself that actually saved the kids and so he could still win the game and save the family at the same time.
And then a third one went and got takeout.
How do you feel about Gazer? That's probably going to be the dude, the guy, the producer, man.
I can't believe
realism.
They finally made the third Ultraman Ghia reboot.
Gazer.
Whatever it was. I messed up the joke. Damn it.
Ultraman Gex.
Because he's supposed to be gay. And I made Blazer, but it's supposed to be Gazer. Because it's a whole. No, I'm excited to see what's up with him. And Daichi's coming back, so I'm curious what that's about.
Isn't he going to be like straight up in the Jamato farm too, with Buffa?
Yup.
Really interesting. Do you think he has any sort of bigger role, like a staff member maybe?
That'd be interesting. You want to be crazy? If it's revealed that the retired players just go to the Jamato forest anyways, I feel like that'd be very interesting. If it's just like
that would I think that would be funny if that was true, but also the whole thing about like, because we know if you're retired you lose your motivation. So like, imagine someone like Japan just gets dropped off in the Jamato forest and he's like, what? He's just stuck there with no will to fight.
I wanted to play soccer. Just forgets he wanted to play basketball.
And then, that means that fucking Mary is there too after no longer wanting money or whatever the fuck he wished for. It's still so funny that people are like, man, they didn't even like show Japan or Mary with like flowers. Honestly, at this point, unless they're gonna come back later, it's just like we're getting to like seeing their civilian lives or something. I don't think they're coming back. I just think they didn't care enough to give them flowers.
I think the craziest one is still Punk Jack. I just don't understand what the plan was there. I really don't.
Punk Jack didn't get his flowers, did he?
I don't think so.
God,
it's also just like they release his ID core at retail and he's dead.
That's so funny. Did he get his release before Kayla's?
Yes, because Kayla was a campaign item.
That's so crazy.
I forget what I was. Unless, I think we talked about it already. Unless it was like a way of like saying anyone can die. Even the guy who has toys out. It's like, okay. But people already bought the toy. So it's like, kind of screwed them, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. No, I remember I remember actually seeing a tweet. I think it was maybe Quasar or Shame or I don't know, maybe even Dylan who posted it. But it was something like something Lopo deserved to have her own unique buckle more than Punk Jack did.
Yesn't. I feel like I agree with that, but I don't think it would work in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like... Because I think it's just kind of like, yeah, I think she does deserve one. But we also know she's probably getting out next episode. Probably. So it's kind of like... Yeah, make another buckle for a character who will die in like 5 episodes or however many it's been, you know? At least comparing to Punk Jack. But I think I think she deserves. I like her getting Fever. I think that's a good compromise.
I don't know. I'm still just loving how this show's doing toys and introducing them. Mm-hmm. Like I'm glad the first time we see the gun card or like the card gun isn't as like as they're debuting and pulling it out and putting it on the belt or whatever. Like no, they just use it like as a normal item. I'm glad that they actually introduced it like that. I think that's a very organic way instead of them just randomly bringing them out.
I like how there's no attention drawn to it either. It's just kind of
yeah. It's not like a whole camera thing where they zoom in. They're like, whoa.
They did a very good job of not showing it.
Yeah, I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you a single detail about that gun.
It's purple and white. That's all I could really tell. And maybe that's fucking it up because there's probably a filter over that whole scene because they're in the green screen room.
I also I kind of really like how they're treating the vision driver, the glare driver, whatever the fuck they're calling it. I like that only certain staff members can use it. I still wonder, like it's not a different vision driver, right? It's still just the same one.
No, it's the same one.
I still wonder if it's going to
be a new card.
Yeah, a new ID card thing, new login. I wonder. Wait, the vision driver, it says glare, right? So it must have a different one for Gazer.
It should, hopefully.
I wouldn't. Now that's a worry for me all of a sudden. Like if the jingle is still just glare. I hope the jingle for Gazer is cool.
The belt calls out glare, and he's like, "No, I don't want to be fucking called that."
I will say, even though like the show did a kind of terrible job in the first arc, making me care about like Girori as an antagonist and the Game Master, I don't know if I'd say they're doing an even worse job, but like I do not care for this new guy at all.
I don't even remember his name.
Holy shit, neither do I. I was about to say, like, his name.
As we said last week, he's taking Sumeri's screen time.
He really...
And that's a bad thing.
I don't even remember Sumeri talked this episode.
I think she did. I wonder... I was talking with another friend, and I was talking about, like, how, like, Murasame is kind of, like, you know, they kind of screwed him over a little bit in Dawn Brothers. But part of me was like, I wonder if it's an actor thing. You know, maybe his VA just wasn't around enough, you know.
Oh, yeah. His VA is like an actor, an anime actor. Like,
I sort of wonder if it was maybe the same thing with Sumeri, but then I'm like, no, because I don't think she's that popular of an actress.
Well, hey, I don't know. It stopped Genta from being around for like the entire show.
Okay, but Genta's apparently a popular dude for some reason. I don't know why. But sure, yeah.
Genta had women to get, bro. He was busy.
Was that ever like when did they say that he wasn't like around much? Was that in like the production book thing that came out, or was that like in an interview? So.
Might have been an interview.
That's one of those things where it's like you hear it and it's like, oh yeah, that's true, but then you're like, wait, where'd that come from? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Toku Twitter said it, so it's probably not true, but I'll believe it anyways.
Yep.
Toku Twitter.
But you want to know what we should believe in?
All we need is dry. Actually, wait. Last thoughts before we go. We complained. I guess we kind of like quote unquote complained the last couple weeks about like, oh man, it kind of feels like they're being
feeling it.
They weren't kind of doing much with Neon's character, because especially with like the first arc was really cool about her and like her storyline and about what she's supposed to exactly have, like what's her arc about, what's the message of it. I'm so glad that's finally coming back around now that her parents are back as we finally see them as sponsors again. We see her in the thing, and she has a really great line that's just like, wow.
I love that line.
I still can't believe that some of this stuff is in Kamen Rider. Like, oh man, I have to get my own happiness. Like, it's really interesting. I really love it. I'm glad they're bringing back the cool Neon writing back.
It's because Takahashi can't write two women at once.
That's the thing. I'm really interested in seeing of how Neon's gonna react to Sei being the Sei. Is that her name? Fuck, Sai.
Yes, maybe.
To how a wolf woman is gonna be the disaster. I want to see how she reacts to that.
I agree with everything Ghia said. I hope Ace bodies Lopo, because I think it'd be funny.
They're gonna have their cool moment, and then they're gonna be like, "All right, so you're the disaster, right?" And he just aims his gun, just shoots her.
All right, I knew that already. Bing bang boom! I already took care of your siblings. They're my siblings now, along with Sumeri.
That makes me wonder. I'm really wondering if this is gonna be a two-parter thing. Well, actually, no. This is technically the part 2 of the fruit bomb thing, but like,
true.
If they get the disaster out, does the game just end, or do they keep going until there's a winner?
I don't think it does, because I think it'll go till there's a winner.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because like I was still confused for a bit.
Because that's what the point of the voting out is.
Oh yeah.
Because they're trying to vote it out every round, so they can just play normally.
Right. Okay. Right.
I think that's what it is.
I don't know. I was more so thinking along the lines of imposter rules, of like the point of the game, or like Among Us rules, of the point of the game is to get them out, but no, it's just like a little quirky gimmick. It's like it's monster seeking monster, like Jackbox. That's a very specific reference, but anyways, yeah. Believe in
Nexus. Ready? Oh, we watched 3 episodes!
5, 6, and 7.
Those episodes were... Hang on, let me get out the episode guide. Hang on. Those were,
One of them was...
Hang on.
Kind of a 2-parter?
One of them... Episode 5 was the... Dudamus. I know how to say it, I just forget how to say it. And then episode 6 was Relic. And then episode 7 was Faust. A.K.A. Guy looks like a little clown dude. He's got little...
I will say, episodes 5 and 6 has the funniest cliffhanger I've ever seen. Of just... Oh, don't shoot him! She shoots the gun. The bullet moves really slow. It cuts to her face, it cuts to Ultraman's face, it cuts back to her face, it cuts back to Ultraman's face, and then it says to be continued. And then you start up episode 6, and it's the same thing, it's the same cuts of both of their faces multiple times. And then it just hard cuts to the opening before we can see what happens. And I was just like, damn, just show me the bullet already.
I love the, so episode 5, if I remember correctly, sort of got like... You sort of get Jun's backstory, I believe. Mm-hmm. For the most part, I believe what's going on.
Jun's the name of the guy, right?
Yeah, that's Nexus. That's the guy who sucks at his job. Dude, he's really fucking bad at what he's doing.
Bro, no, it was so funny watching episode 5 of him just getting fucking cooked by the monster. Like, he took a chunk out of his leg. I never thought I'd see an Ultraman bleed in a fight. Like, it's so fun. Like, he was getting ganged up on, too. They were beating his ass.
Was it? I don't remember if it was 7. I don't remember if it was 6 or 5. But do you remember the bit where he's, like, being chased by those bats? And he just gets suddenly teleported to Tokyo? Or whatever it was? It's like, dude, they're bats! Come on!
It is...
No, but...
it's so funny.
In all seriousness, these were probably the best 3 episodes. I feel like they all flowed together really well. It wasn't like... Maybe it's because we just watched 3 instead of watching 2.
Oh, fuck.
This time, but it felt... Oh, God, not again.
No, it's nothing bad. I just realized we didn't look at the commenters, the replies.
Oh, we can look now. We can
we want to pull another Achilles edit?
Oh, God, we gotta time travel again? Can we act like we time traveled this time?
Yeah, we could do that.
Alright, I got this. I'm good at this. Ready?
Ready.
Alright, here we go. We're gonna go on whoa, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Whoa!
What?
Oh, we're back!
Whoa.
Holy shit, it worked!
Damn, yeah.
Good work, Ghia.
Dude, yeah, bro.
Alright, guys.
I thought the machine was
we're
gonna
back.
blow up.
We're back from the future. We came back to this part of the video, podcast, whatever you want to call it, because we forgot to read the comments on Taisen. I almost said it wrong. As usual, follow us on Twitter at the I just said. I'm not going to say it again because I messed it up. But let's begin with good old Gleaming Garmore. This was the first one I saw.
What did she say?
Gleaming Garmore said, This week was fast-paced and snappy. I really enjoyed it. Honestly, Lopo being the traitor was an obvious answer, but it's also one I can be satisfied with, given her circumstances. I like that they gave us a reason the Disaster can't just play normally and win that way. I agree with that.
I do agree. If the Disaster was just like, oh, play along and then like not have to do things to sabotage, because like that's kind of the thing I was thinking about. Of like, if you had to be the Disaster, couldn't you just choose to play passively? Because that's what I do in Among Us sometimes. You know, when you're the imposter, sometimes not doing anything is the best way to do something. But no, I'm glad that they added. Oh, you have to sabotage other players, or else you can't continue.
Daichi was kind of playing like I
Daichi was the third
imposter.
imposter.
Played Among Us No, he was kind of playing... I guess he was, but he was also kind of playing, like, the imposter who doesn't, like... he just kind of sows seeds of doubt in everybody, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh. He's the guy the guy that, like, acts really stupid, and then when you kick him out, like, when y'all eject him, it's like, damn, bro, why are you playing like that if you weren't the one?
No, and I agree with... Given Lopo's circumstances, it works out, but I still think being the obvious answer isn't like probably the greatest thing, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I agree. Good take, Garmore, and also shout out to Gleaming Garmore because they were our first person ever who made a meme based on something we said about the podcast.
Was it like Buffa and Minecraft?
Buffa. In Buffa and Minecraft and Final Fantasy XIV, I got a chuckle out of it. So I appreciate it, Garmore. I really did. Because I like when people make things based on stuff I said, because it helps my ego. That's a joke. Or is it? No, it's not. I think everyone feels like that. I like recognition. Anyways.
Bumble Tomble said, I think it was a little bit rushed. And I was super confused to see Power Builder and Ninja just disappear when they transformed.
I'm not gonna lie, I read this before I watched the episode. I interrupted you there. But I read this before I watched the episode, and I was like, what is he talking about? Watched the episode, I was like, yeah, that is a little weird.
I guess, you know, I guess I can kind of see it for Ace of just like, there's not, I can't, I wouldn't do on right now because, you know, my strategy and whatnot, or some shit, whatever bullshit he's doing. But like, I don't know, KO has no reason to not double it on.
And plus, wouldn't Ninja make him faster? I feel
Yeah.
like it would.
Also, I don't know if it's just me, but like, I thought it's kind of bullshit that like, the Ninja Dueler can't cut through a warehouse door.
It's not like KO. You have technically 6 attacks you could do if you really try hard enough.
You could also
you
like
need the chainsaw.
He's also teleported through walls before. So I don't know what he's doing.
Also, he just closed the door. You could have opened it.
It's so
probably
funny.
handle.
My biggest obstacle is stopped door.
My biggest obstacle.
He had to take someone else's buckle so he could get through the door.
I need to have my character moment this episode, please.
What else were the people
what else
saying?
We got here? We got Mr. Quasar Herd, Quasar X, friend of the show. I don't know. He doesn't follow the account.
Friend of us.
He's not a friend. Friend of us. Quasar says 20 was a pretty standard beginning to one of the games. Seeing how this arc handles different aspects of family was really interesting to see. And Michinaga's fight with Ace was pretty sick. Do feel like Lopo being the disaster is kind of lame, but I'm alright with it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it.
I agree.
Like I said, like it had to be one of the two new people, but I also like they haven't really given me a good enough reason to care that Lopo's a disaster.
Yeah, I do. You know, the family aspect part. I think it's interesting because I do this a lot, but when people bring up a point, it like clicks with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever have those.
No, very, very much. I've had those moments.
But like, you know, he brings up the family thing, and I'm like, I guess you're right, because it's like, okay, you got Lopo with the siblings, you got Ace looking for his mom, you got
Sara.
I guess Michinaga's finding a surrogate family in the Jamato, I guess. I don't know. Not really. That doesn't really work. And you obviously have Neon. And then Daichi was just kind of there, but screw him, you know. I do think there is some aspects of family in here. I wouldn't say it's... I guess this is me like disagreeing, but it's not really. It's just kind of like... Personally, how I'm seeing it, it sort of seems like a main focus, but also not. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I feel like that could also just be made a point of that family. Family's just a big aspect of Geats as a whole.
I agree with that. I think you're right on that. Yeah. And then I agree Michinaga's fight with Ace. Pretty sick.
Aki.
What else we got?
Homie Aki, Hamato no Oni, one of the Kabuto Bros hosts of Podcast Off, said
my eternal rivals.
Buffa was hot. Current
so that means
he's no longer hot.
I mean, I guess because he's a zombie, he'd be cold.
I get, you know, that's right.
That wasn't a good one.
He probably has a very low body temperature.
He's probably a little bit chilly. Someone should give him a hug.
Probably hasn't showered in days.
Dude, imagine how bad he smells.
Not only hasn't showered in days, but turning into a plant.
Also, same outfit.
That same shirt for days. Oh, the must.
Oh, and he's got the moss growing on his hand now.
Probably hair greasy as fuck too.
Ugh.
He's been pushed in the dirt all the time.
You know the beginning of Shrek where like he's washing himself with all like the dirtiest shit possible.
Yeah,
that's what Michinaga's doing in the Jamato forest.
You know what? I hope that becomes a joke in the arc. Like eventually, when he accepts the girl for being a sponsor, the girl could be like, "Damn, you smell terrible."
I hope someone brings that up now. I really do, because it's like, now that I said it, I'm like, yeah, he probably does smell like shit.
Even, you know? Actually, it would actually be so much better if that's like the first thing to say to him. If once he gets like a redemption arc or something, like once he starts to be on the good side, they're like, oh, by the way, like, you smell awful.
What else we got here? We got best pal, famous author, Cyberlife Levi, aka Ray. We love Levi here. Levi loves us. We'll read the Shinobi fanfic eventually. One day.
We'd love to have you on about it. But what did
Levi said, more Sarah is always good for me.
Yeah, I'm glad she's back. Like, it wasn't until this episode that I really noticed that, like, because of course last week we talked about Ben and John, where we're gone for just a while. But I even when saying that, I didn't even notice that, like, Sarah's been gone for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad she's back. I hope Ben and John can be back next week. I
hope Ben and John are the people Neon has
and if they're not,
pineapple.
If they're not, and their actors aren't doing anything, hey Michael Kinder, if you're not busy.
Hey Michael, hey Tom.
Tom Constantine.
You guys are kind of like stunt boy Taisen.
I only just now recently realized that Tom Constantine was in both of the music video for the Chainsaw Man opening, and he was also in Dino Fury.
And he was in Geo. I saw someone watching Geo, and they were like, "Oh my God, Kamen Rider Ben is in Geo," and I'm like, "No, his name is Tom Constantine. He was Tom first."
Lee Maricha, what? Lee Maricha? At Sotetsu's...
Oh, he's from... Oh,
wait.
I think it's French.
At Sotetsu's says, nice episode. Geats versus Buffa was great. I'm glad we can all agree. Interesting interaction about their family dynamic. Neon standing her ground.
Whoa.
Kayla. I'm about to say Kaon. Kayla being more...
Kaon, the band?
Being more bold each episode. The sponsor are still interesting. Especially Baroba? Is that her name?
Oh, that's her name.
Lopo being the disaster is surprising, but waiting to see the result. I don't know if I'd call it surprising, but yeah, I'm definitely waiting to see what it comes out.
I was about to say this guy was watching a different show. That's so mean. But I said it anyways, so it doesn't matter now.
But yeah, no,
I'm glad everyone's loving this Geats versus Buffa fight.
Oh no, yeah, it was very, very good. I am interested in seeing where Kayla is going with this whole being no more Mr. Nice Guy thing. It'd be interesting if he was like the first person to be aggressive against Lopo for being the disaster.
I'd like that. I think that'd be interesting.
Be very interesting.
You know what I do like? I do like out of the main trio, or main four rather. Sorry, Buffa. I do think it's interesting how like not Buffa. Fuck, I keep messing it up. Tycoon and Nago are kind of the only two where I'm like, yeah, I want to see where their character goes, because it feels like they're kind of, obviously they're developing, as all characters do, but like, Ace and Michinaga are kind of,
their arcs,
I don't want to call them static.
I will honestly how I'd put it is like Ace and Michinaga,
they're complete.
Ace and Michinaga's character arcs have to do more so with the Grand Prix, while Keiwa and Neon's more so have to do with like them as personal people.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I agree. And then,
last but not
finally,
least,
certainly not least, the great, the legend, the VA, the Desire Devil, Mr. Digital Mayhem 40, a.k.a. Chris. He's got quite a few.
He has a couple, yeah.
So he and I quote, "I adore how violent Keiwa became when he used Zombie. I like how sad and relatable Lopo's backstory is, and her reveal as the disaster actually hit a lot harder because of that. I am intrigued to see more of Buffa's Jamatofication. I almost said it wrong. I'm really excited to see more of the sponsors and their role in the story, especially with the supposed gun card rider being introduced soon. The fruit bomb plot was kind of lame, but it didn't hurt the episode for me. Overall, this was a really solid episode, and I can't wait for the next one."
I agree with
a
majority of the points. I will say, I do agree that overall the twist of, or like the backstory of Lopo making the reveal hit harder. it does certainly make it hit harder, but I feel like it would have hit harder if the backstory was told to us a couple episodes ago, and like once they have the reveal now, then they could reference back to it.
I think too it would have, if they had thrown like one more red herring at us. You know, we kind of dealt with Daichi being the red herring, but it was also kind of like no. I think everyone can agree no one really expected it to be him at the start. You know, It wasn't really ever like it's probably him. No, It was kind of like, it's definitely not him, you know? But
I feel like there's also some points that where they could have dropped a little bit more hints. I think her conversations with Neon during that during those first rounds, where they discussed whether or not KO was it, maybe she could have said something that could have tipped Neon off a little bit, maybe. Like, it could have been something...
Even, I think, like... Yeah.
Yeah. What were you saying?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say you could even go, like, a direction where, like, she is saying things to Neon in order to push her to think that it's Keiwa, instead of just looking at Keiwa's actions, you know? I think that would have been an interesting direction. I think she kind of does that.
Right.
But I don't really remember.
But yeah,
what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, I think it would have been more like if she'd said something that maybe Neon initially found weird, but like it's not something she'd like question heavily about until she knows that Lopo's the disaster. She's like, wait a minute, that one thing she said, that did mean something.
I would have liked that. That would have been nice.
But yeah, I do agree about sponsors and the gun card riders, and I also agree that the fruit bomb plot was kind of lame.
I thought it was neat.
I do admit I never thought I would see a whole like action movie style cut the red wire, cut the blue wire thing in Kamen Rider. I thought that was kind of cute.
Now you say it, I don't think I would have ever seen it either.
It is really cute. He's like, oh man, I gotta cut the red one.
Gotta save my sister from this pineapple.
Is that enough time traveling for us?
Yeah, we're losing power in the machine. We gotta go back.
Alright guys, we're going back to the future. We'll see you when we're talking about
Tell
Nexus.
past Jacob he left the oven on.
Do it, guys. For us.
Alright. Ghia, we're going!
So anyways, like Nexus, right?
Hey, oh god, we're back.
we're back.
Wait, what happened?
What happened was we learned the backstory of the Nexus dude of June. Honestly,
you're right.
I think it's really funny that he was just newspaper man before.
Bro was just a wartime photographer. Got caught up, and he was like, "I gotta go to this giant fucking rock thing."
I will say I do very much. I won't say I don't know if I enjoy it, but like I find the side character entertaining.
Like the weird dude.
Yeah, that was like, oh, if you're not doing newspapers or journalism anymore, why are you investigating things? and then he got into a taxi to follow him.
And then he was just at his house.
He was just kind of everywhere. It was interesting. But also, it's really funny. Just in general, Ultraman June, he's such a cryptid in the show. Like he's really like a deer in headlights. He's just there.
He's just a fucking guy. I know. I constantly say he fucking sucks at his job, but it's like, what do you
honestly,
do,
no.
bro?
I felt it more in this episode than anything. Where like he got his chunk bitten out of his leg. He started losing to the fighter jets.
He gets sucked in the rock thing or whatever it was, and then Kumon gets shot or whatever. Did he get shot? I think he did, because then there was like a flashback or whatever. I don't know. Was him getting shot a dream, or did he actually get shot?
I think he actually got shot. I will say,
guys, we here at College Boy Taisen definitely pay attention to the
again.
episode.
Now I only have two shows to base this off of for comparison. Decker and Geats.
Yeah.
But I think it is very interesting because all I've heard about this show is that it simply subverts things that Ultraman does. And so it's very interesting to see that the defense team, the main defense team, that the military team, is very, I wouldn't say anti-Ultraman, but like, they'll kill him. Like, they're fucking going at him.
He's like a weird fucking dude.
They do not care. Like, it's so funny when like
you're not that guy, pal.
The dude in the base was in the Illustrate, whatever the fuck he was called.
I forget his name.
The guy in the white shirt. He's just like, go ahead and shoot Ultraman for me. And everyone in their little jets is like, oh shit, okay, sure. And then they just start blasting and they're winning against him.
You got it, boss.
You start blasting.
Then they get the new ship combo, the strike formation. That was neat.
It's pretty sick. And I do just love seeing the defense team being on the offensive when it comes to Ultraman. And it's only really Kumon that's like, wow, this is kind of bad. This is kind of not right. This is kind of stupid.
That's the dude I met, Ultraman. He's my friend. And also that's my girlfriend.
This is how I met them.
Well, I met them before, but I'll tell you the story of how I met them.
No, it's really... I do think it's kind of like, of course, Kumon's doing it because he's Ultraman and Ultraman saved him, but it's really funny of just like, no, don't do it. He's the hobo that met us in the woods with a gun.
and then so we're kind of going all over the place here, but like there's the bit at the end of episode 5 where Jun is limping away with the bloody leg, and then the fucking rock from like the temple comes down and like saves him or whatever it was.
It just showed up.
And then Kumon's like,
a random ship flies down. Yeah, he gets visions of massacre. A war.
And he's like, fuck, I know everything about this Jun guy. And then like nothing really came of it, and then he had a dream about his girlfriend shooting him. And that was the whole thing. I don't know. Yeah.
I said this before, but like, it's kind of hard for me to care about the defense team if Ultraman's not a part of it, and I do think it's getting a little better, but I cannot tell you any of these guys' names still aside from Kumon.
I remembered his girlfriend's name, but I completely forgot it when I watched it this time. What else was I gonna say? So other than the Nexus sort of backstory, you know, with Jun going to the temple or whatever, the other biggest thing to happen in this batch of episodes is the weird fucking jester dude. I think his name's Dark Faust. I don't actually know what it is. He just kind of shows up. He looks funny. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think he's a silly little guy. He's kind of a goofy dude. a goofy goober, even.
I love how he's like, well, you know, where there's light, there has to be a shadow. I'm your shadow. Jun is like, I have one. It's not you.
I'm starting to notice that seems to be I don't know, a theme in Ultraman. Sometimes a villain will show up and be like, Ultraman, you're the light, I'm the dark. I know that's like the thing in Orb, because they're like, oh, the giant of light, and then Juggler Gay Man is like, oh, I'm the dark guy. And then that's kind of a Gom's thing in Decker. He's like, you're the light, and I hate the light. And then fucking Yapul shows up.
He's like, get in the Yapul dimension.
The Yapul dimension. Go to space.
Go to space. Hang out with Trigger. Fight to the theme song. Bing bang boom.
I will say Otako Nara again. It never gets old. God damn it! It never gets old.
Dude, I love how he does he's like, I'm gonna kick the, you know, Jun is like, alright, I'm gonna fight you now. Turns into Nexus. And he's ground sized, he's human sized. Cute, that's cute, look at him. They're gonna have a fist fight. Jun immediately is like, fuck this, and then he grows giant and then summons the meta field. And then I kind of forget what happens after that. I don't remember if they had a fight. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I really don't. My mind is just blanking now. I don't know.
God. No, I will say I'm actually starting to finally enjoy Kumon. I know whenever I talk to Aki is like, bro, but Kumon's the GOAT. And then blah blah and this stuff, and then they're always like, well, like he's important, and he's cool. Like just wait. And I was like, yeah, but like for the first couple of episodes, I don't feel a reason to care about him because he's just a guy. And granted, he is still just a guy, but you know he's starting to have his charm. I really think he's starting to have his charm.
Slightly more interesting guy.
When he's actually talking about his usual the usual pro tag stuff of like this is not right. This is what Ultraman has to do. Like I actually very much love his fascination with Ultraman as like a person, as a hero. And I'm interested in seeing where exactly that's going to take him.
I agree.
Aside from that, I don't think there's actually too much to say about him. Because, again, I still just think the whole thing of, like, this is my girlfriend. And he has one that we cut to sometimes in the middle of a fight. Like, it's just... the show...
The show is...
weird pace.
The show makes me, like... The show is so weird, right? Because I'll watch the episodes, and then I'll just kind of be like, all right, that's it. And then I just kind of, like, remember the funny things about it, and that's really it. And I feel kind of bad about that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should be, like, absorbing the show more, but I don't know. It's just... something about it makes it hard for me to, like...
How I feel about it,
you know?
I think... And... Usually, it depends on the toku for me, but I feel like this one, it's sticking weird to me personally, because it feels like there's supposed to be a story, but there really isn't. And I think that's honestly because we have June, and June's always around, but like half the show so far is spending time on June, as if we're supposed it feels like we're supposed to see something else. Even though, like, I know there's a thing before, like, there's the next, but I don't think that's supposed to be about June or whatever.
No, that's not even... June's not even in that. Don't worry about the next.
Yeah. It feels like we're supposed to have seen something before this that, like, elaborates on June. Or, like I don't know, like, this, like, kind of like a sequel show, if anything. Like, this feels like it's supposed to be a new story attached to a previously old story, because obviously June's been Ultraman for a while. And then we add in his characters of the newspaper dude and his forms and what he does as Nexus in the meta field, and so then we just have this new guy. But then if you really think about it, what are they really doing aside from just tackling the monster of the week? Like there's no overarching plot really of what the slug dudes are doing, like this weird flying dudes or the monsters. The monsters just show up, they fight them. And then the episode ends. And sure, we sometimes get lore.
The greatest ending theme in history.
And then sometimes we get lore about June or Nexus, but that's really it. It's not like a continuous
You can't even say sometimes we get that, because really, in all honesty, we just kind of got it episode 5. Everything else has been... Sure, we've gotten tidbits, right?
Mm-hmm.
But everything, like, in terms of lore has come from these last 3 episodes, if I'm being 100% with you. In my opinion, anyways, I feel. Not trying to like be an argument. That's it.
I completely agree. It's just like there feels like there's nothing to really attach to for like a story or a plot. They've just been giving us like chunks and appearances and just being like, ooh, look at this. This is kind of cool, right? There's just nothing of worth, especially when the main focus characters aren't the main heroes. They don't. Sure, they have their military guns and military fight, but we don't. It's just not really what we're here to see. And so if you don't give them enough depth or like something good enough to have them really worth remembering as of right now, then it's hard to really care about them if they're not going to be Ultraman. And that's especially harder when the actual character of Ultraman is supposed to be a mystery of a person.
Mm-hmm. What was I gonna say?
But
I think I think we have to, for the viewers, and I guess for us too, we also have to take this into consideration that we watch this in batches. We're not obviously, you don't have to binge a show to enjoy it, but we kind of do watch it inconsistently. I would say, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and we're also watching it to talk about it. So I think is like a difference between just kind of watching a show to watch it, but then also like watching a show for a podcast where it's like, okay, I gotta find some talking points for this week's episode, But
Yeah.
I know. Shout out Aki, because Aki loves us watching Nexus.
Aki very much loves this show, but the thing is, and like no offense to Aki if you're listening, but it's harder. I think obviously it'd be harder for us to really, I don't know, see the light, pun intended, whatever the fuck. See the light, see the sauce, what's really good about it.
See the sunrise.
At least from what I've heard, a lot of things that Aki really likes about this stuff comes later on.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to really enjoy it right now.
Obviously, we're pretty early, so I think the show will get better.
Uh-huh.
Not that I think it's bad right now. It's more. It's not bad at all. It's more just like a funny show.
It's entertainingly interesting.
Yeah.
Some shows really
I like Nexus.
really do be like that. I remember Ballin hated. I don't know about hated, but Ballin just didn't like that. I thought Lupin versus Pat Ranger was a boring ass show, and I still stick by that.
I mean, it is.
And it's so funny. I remember in call, Ballin was like, "Well, how far did you get to, Ghia?" And I was like, "Episode 24." I was halfway into the show. I've seen half the show, and it is still boring as hell. And you know what he said to me? He said, "You're not even at the good part yet." And I was like, "When's the good part? I'm over halfway in."
Me telling people to watch For You, Soldier. Guys, it gets good when Nada dies. I'm telling you.
I'm just like, when the show get good? And I think he says it as a joke. But he said something like, "Oh, it gets good like in the last 5 episodes or something."
That's just not even true. That was a terrible final arc.
I'll never finish Lupin.
Damn.
Yeah, I do not care. It has gay guys. Good for them.
Even gay, they kissed in the stage show. Does that really count?
Okay, Ranger Wiki. That situation was so funny as hell. There was one guy on Ranger Wiki that would just not. He was not having it.
Can that be the preview clip this week?
Okay, Ranger.
Okay, Ranger Wiki.
Oh no, we've gotten to the part where we don't have anything to talk about.
What are you talking about? I want Kun. I want Kumon and Jun to kiss.
For real. They're gonna be like,
gay Ultraman.
So you're Ultraman? Don't shoot him, guys.
Sheesh.
God, maybe you know what? At the end of the series, I wanted to end with a narration from June instead of Kublai, where he was like, "And this is a story of how I actually met my boyfriend and Ultraman."
I can't wait for this show to go like completely off the rails at some point.
It's a Heisei Ultra, so it must be crazy.
There's like a whole new protagonist or something at like it's just a different guy now. Like Kumon's gone, Jun's gone. It's just a different set of circumstances,
dude. No,
but it's still
the way I've heard, so many people have like actually wanted Toku like that, and I remember just hearing back in the day. I think it was actually during the 01 era. A lot of people were just like, "Wouldn't it be interesting if a Kamen Rider show started off with like the main writer, and then like in the first couple episodes he died, and then the secondary writer has to take up the mantle, and then he's the main writer for the rest of the show or some shit like that."
I'd like that. That'd be interesting.
Toei would never do it.
I think there was a concept for Might have been Ginga. I don't know, but there was a early concept for Ginga, Ultraman Ginga, and maybe something else. I don't remember off the top of my head, but like the powers are supposed to be passed around every episode. It's like a different person would have been the Toku hero. I don't remember which Toku it was. I don't remember if it was Ultraman or Rider. Someone can fact check me on that. But it was something like that. And I think that is an interesting concept to do.
Anyways, one of these weeks I have to start Trigger. I will watch Trigger, damn it. Aki, I think I remember Aki telling me at some point if I watch Trigger before finishing Nexus that they gonna kill me. And now I kind of want to do
Aki,
it.
Hey Aki, we're not gonna finish Nexus. I'm gonna start watching Ryuki for the podcast.
I don't feel like they'd be too mad at that. They like Ryuki.
No, but sorry Aki, I didn't mean it. Aki's gonna be like, but I wanted you to watch Nexus, and I'm like, well, no. And I just play Alive.
Dun, 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 dun.
You want to know what I should do? I should do an Otakata into a Alive edit to announce that we're watching Ryuki instead of Nexus anymore.
That would be so funny.
You
know what? Aki's gonna wake up one day and it's gonna be like whatever the fuck they're doing with Jiro and Dawn Brothers right now. Like Aki's gonna look at the previous thumbnails for CBT episodes and then Nexus will just be gone.
If we ever do Ryuki, can you just make some random thumbnails that just change to have Ryuki in them? I think that'd be so funny.
God, what is going on with Dawn Brothers right now? I saw that shit.
I thought you were gonna say what is going on with the podcast. I was like, I don't fucking know, man.
That too. I just all I know about it right now is that Jiro's life is a lie and that he never had friends or some shit.
Dude, my mom brought me some cake with milk. I'm living large here.
Okay, yeah, this is definitely the Nexus episode. Nexus episode of CBT. Okay, milk cake, you said?
Yeah, it's strawberry cake.
Are you talking about a tres leches? You get a tres leches cake?
I'll send you a picture of the cake.
I say because I've never heard of just milk cake.
No, it's milk. And no, I have a glass of milk.
Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind, I'm bugging.
Milk cake.
No, so there are milk cakes, kind of.
Look at that. Look at the cake. Look at that cake. It's got purple frosting because Guy sold.
It is your birthday cake. Wow.
And strawberry flavored. It's actually pretty good.
Strawberry cakes. Like not strawberry frosting, but like the actual cake tastes like strawberry. I love those shits.
Yeah.
Those are so good. I haven't had one in a minute.
God, the lady was like, my mom was like, what flavors do you want? She was like, do you want chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry? And I was like, strawberry. So then, orders the cake, whatever. And then after we have the party, she's telling me, I had to get that cake custom ordered. I was like, really? She was like, yeah, they don't do that. I was like, you asked me. She was like, yeah.
Arcing back to the Walmart thing, right? Because like I was walking through Walmart just taking in all the new stuff.
I never thought we'd come back to this.
I was walking in looking at all the new stuff, and I saw all the cakes. And sometimes like some they sell like some just like a slice of cake or like a square of cake in like a small plastic box. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever gotten that, like a little mini cake. And I saw these like some of these like they're selling small cakes for like $2, $5. Like, is it weird that I just kind of want to buy a cake? Like, it's not even for an occasion. Like they're so cheap. I just want one. Oh, I'm gonna eat it. I want to buy a cake. Is it socially acceptable?
That's a good question.
Buy a cake for no occasion at all, just to eat it.
College Boy Tyson fans, is it socially acceptable to buy a cake just to eat it?
Question of the week. Jacob's random question.
Didn't I say I was gonna do that? I said I was gonna do something.
You said something about not. I don't know why. I remember you saying something about pasta, but you probably didn't say that.
Oh! I vaguely remember that. I remember something about pasta. I don't fucking know. I'm too old for this.
So, nice weather we're having.
Yeah, nice weather. It's supposed to be -7 degrees up here.
It's so funny hearing people complain about how cold it is, because I'm a Californian and I'll be like, God, it is so cold today, and all my friends, all my internet friends will be like, well, Ghia, how cold is it in Cali? And I'll be like, I don't know, like 48 degrees, and I'm like, 48, I could go swimming at the beach. And they just yell at me like, that's not cold, Californian. It's gonna be -32 tomorrow.
This guy's like, yeah, guys, it's pretty cold out here. Fucking, he's like, it's like, I don't know. You already said the joke. Fuck. I was distracted because I was trying to eat my cake.
It's so funny because like I was in a call earlier today when they're like, oh my god, it's gonna be -10 tomorrow, and I'm like, damn, wherever these fellas are living, I could not live there. I am too much of a Californian. Staying on the West Coast for the rest of my life.
I will never come and visit you.
I'll come to visit you during summer when it's best. I'll have to play it safe.
I'm coming up there, but when the weather is exactly the same as I'm used to.
Exactly. You can't have too much change now. But you know, you'll be here, and instead you'll enjoy the heat here when College Boy Taisen goes
20 boys
to Power Morphicon. We won't have a panel or a live thing or anything. We're just gonna randomly set up a table uninvited and have a podcast.
I think we should get a panel and say we're gonna do a live recording of the podcast, but we just don't.
We don't even show up.
No, we go somewhere else. Guys, we lied. Our panel's actually at this random back alley.
And that's why we promise on the advertising that's going to be a Nexus episode. And that's it.
At Power Morphicon. Guys, we know how big of Ultraman fans you are. Fucking every other week you got the Tokusatsu fandom.
We'll be there.
Is Ultraman really in the big three?
We'll be there at the Cosmic Fury panel, whatever they have.
We'll be there at the Power Rangers reboot panel when they announce they're canceling the mainline show.
We'll see that. We'll see really if Jinsaku was telling the truth all the time, like the prophet he truly was in disguise.
We'll get Jin on. We'll get Simon Bennett on.
We'll find the Pookie Man, the Pookster.
I will take him down on site.
Honestly,
and then Russell Curry will hop on.
If I was Simon Bennett, I would not go to any Power Morphicon, Ranger Stop, whatever the fuck. Like, he has said too much shit now.
Especially if I'm going.
He has said too much shit now to take back.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm the type of petty asshole, right? So, like, if he was having a Q&A, I would walk up and be like, hey, Simon, my name's Jacob. You once replied to me on Twitter.
At Guy Sold, does that ring a bell?
Apology? Does that ring a bell? You remember my uncle? Ben Parker, the man you killed in cold blood?
You didn't give the Kill Ranger suits a chance.
What does it matter to you? Everything. Then I pull out a Seiza blaster.
Starts burning a Cosmic Fury action figure. He's like, good riddance. And then after the everything settles and the sun sets, we'll be like, now I'm in the mood for some champagne.
I was about to say that, but I was drinking my milk. I run into Russell Curry's arms. Me and him have a moment. And then
Jacob gets recognized as the guy that made the Marvin's Room meme.
The Marvin's Room meme. No, it was Take Care.
Take Care? Wasn't it the same album?
No, Hot. Is it? I don't actually. I'm a fake Drake fan.
I remember the specific picture you edited. I remember that being associated with Marvin's Room.
Let me see. Marvin's Room is on that album. I'm a fraud. Sorry, guys.
Not a
I thought you were talking about the joke Hawk made.
Oh
He was
yeah.
like, Marvin's room was about Ollie and Amelia.
Fuck that Red Ranger. Oh god.
What a fucking episode.
I wonder how it's gonna be for Hunter Deno next Power Morphicon.
I thought you were gonna say, wonder how it's gonna be for her to listen to the episode. I was like, what?
Hunter Deno, I know you're an avid fan of Follow Joy Tyson.
We got Hunter Deno, we got Don Cheadle, we got Pookie, got Hawk.
Those
Those are our avid listeners.
avid listeners right next to Chris Digital Mayhem.
Don Cheadle feels like forever ago.
We've been going for a while. This is episode 21.
Is that weird? Is that weird to say, like, that feels forever ago?
Technically, it would have been like a couple months ago, so like, nah.
That was like, what was that, episode 1?
Was the Don Cheadle joke really episode 1?
I think it was either 1 or 2.
Damn.
Remember the hater wheel? I need to bring that back.
Rebooted.
I just kept forgetting to remake it. Because it was such a pain in the ass, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was sort of like, well, it's gone now. I can't bring it back.
We love everyone.
Geats came out, I was like, I can't hate anymore.
Exactly, because now
I have to love.
Now Ace is here. And we love Ace.
And I finally found something to fill my joy again.
You don't get Kamen Rider Relays killed my grandma.
You guys don't get it. Battle Familia ruined my life.
It's okay. Because at the end of the day, I won Best Editor at the Toku Fandom Awards.
I was robbed!
It's okay. You got nominated for you won the only thing you got nominated for.
Yay!
Who else could it have been?
I don't know, some random guy.
Wasn't there one that you weren't even in, but you quote retweeted saying like, "Guys, I won."
Yeah, it was the Ryu Soldier one. I really, I'm at fucking Guy Soul. Screw you guys. I'm that guy. I'm him.
Bro is
I'm not gonna lie,
the
that
Guy
was
Soul guy.
I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple that bugged me that I wasn't on, but that one just didn't make sense to me for why I wasn't on it. Because it's like, I'm at Guy Soul. Like, it's in my ad. Someone literally, I think it was Mandy who told me, literally, if you changed your I wouldn't recognize you anymore. Like, it fits you.
It is you.
So I am he, and he is me. We are one and the same.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, I think the Toku Awards are, like, it's like a good idea in concept.
It's a good idea, but it sounds really hard to manage.
It also just feels like there's a lot of, maybe I'm biased because this is how I felt, but it's like, it really felt like, this isn't me hating on anyone, I want to make that perfectly clear, but it really did feel like it was a lot of, like, just friend circles voting for each other, there was a lot of people who were, like, nominated for the same categories and won every category, like, I know Aki won a lot, but, I don't want to say Aki doesn't have that big a friend group. That feels a little rude, but you get what I mean?
No, Aki does. Aki does have a fan base for sure. Aki got fans.
I'm one of them. Proud Aki fan. We love Aki.
I will say this has shown me, even though it was comedic and very funny to see it. This awards thing has given me proof that sometimes these people only respond to hate, because the fucking Tayuya guy won the Saber thing. Like, see, now I have a reason to hate. When you hate on things, people remember that more.
I voted for you being biggest 01 fan. It should have happened, damn it.
It was never going to happen.
Didn't even nominate for biggest build fan. What a ripoff.
Let's see, goddamn, for voting for shit we hate. That makes you wonder if I would have won. I will say I didn't lose because like people voted more, but I asked to get out, so that wasn't an option.
No.
Yeah, my votes weren't counted, so sorry if y'all voted for me.
No, my vote was wasted. I hate politics.
I tried to pull a Kalo, a Peepaw, and give my spot to someone else. I was like, yeah, can I pick someone else to be like a 0-1 fan in my spot? And they were just like, no, you're out. You're just out. No. And I was like, damn.
Wow, that's rude.
I was gonna give it to I can't even really call the friend of the show, but friend
Digital Mayhem.
No, Chris was already nominated. I'm pretty sure, but no, Vea from Henshins and Dragons, the one of Waki and Will's friends, my friends.
Oh, damn.
The homie. Will's...
Shout out Will.
Yeah, Will's lover. Because Kiva got her a boyfriend, her girlfriend, a Kiva friend.
I think it's girlfriend.
His girl. I don't know why I said boyfriend. Like, I thought about Otoy. I'm projecting. I'm not straight. Yeah, no, this is a Nexus episode. This is a Nexus episode for sure.
Must be nice. Glad you guys are happy. Must be nice.
It sounds like that K treating you real well, bro. Like it's gonna be okay. It's
not okay.
It's okay, man. You'll find love.
Nothing left.
Maybe
except for Aki.
You'll rewatch. You can rewatch Go and you can get a Go girlfriend.
No one likes me like that. Chris is getting more play than I am.
No, we can't go into that here. I was about to ask everything. I
gotta tell you something about that after.
I think we ran out of steam. I think this is the end.
Oh man, guys, my recording is telling me it's running out of space.
Yeah, I totally don't want to hear about this gossip that could possibly...
I could possibly go in the episode anyways, just to be funny, but we probably won't do it because I got into trouble last time with Peter.
Really? Oh, wait, that thing we mentioned?
Yeah, totally, that thing we mentioned that we shouldn't be talking about anymore.
Oh, right,
yeah.
Okay.
That thing.
Anyways, we have been College with Taisen. I have no idea what we're going to talk about next week, but follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on three options. Or you could do all three. You could do
3
something.
for 3.
You could do Ghially, but the L's are I's. It's so funny. Someone DM'd me recently of just like, I can't find your account. Did it get suspended? And it's like the L's are... All I said was just the L's are I's. And they're like, oh!
Was that your account that got suspended or was it another person?
It's someone else! I don't know who had this shit before me, but then they messed around and got suspended and now I can't have it. They ruined it for everyone.
I've been wondering that for the... Excuse me. I was wondering that for the longest time.
No.
But I never felt like asking.
Anyways, yeah, you can follow me at Ghially, but the L's are I's. You can follow at the biggest Ryu Soldier fan I know, Guy Solg.
Aw, you.
Or you can follow us both and interact with the show where we ask questions about Geats weekly and just funny shit posts and whatnot at CBT CB Tyson. Yeah. Well, we post episodes there.
You can follow one of us. You can follow both of us. You can follow one of the other.
You can follow none of us and just be a hater on our post. I don't know.
You can just watch the podcast, Subscribe to Ghially. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to Digital Jacob. Mm-hmm. New video dropped.
Subscribe to Double G Dubbing.
Edit. Subscribe to Double G Dubbing. There might be Geats Abridged will be coming out eventually after I lose countless hours of sleep.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.